A Merry Christmas, everybody. So, I hope everybody had a good holiday season. I know I did. There's some really sad stories here in my area, here in the central Alabama, of people's houses getting burned down and everything. So it was kind of a depressing kind of Christmas over here in some regards. But for the most part, it was still a pretty nice day, and well, I got a lot of my Dino Charge collecting stuff out of the way. So I'm going to be reviewing about three, four things, depending on if you count some of them as the same thing. So I'm going to do all these tonight. I'm probably not going to upload all of them today. This is the 27th is when I'm reviewing these. So the first thing I'm going to review is the Saber. This is the Dino Charge, Dino Saber. I wanted to get this mostly because of the Raptor charger, which is my third charger now. It's just got the logo, it's got the typical, it's got all four forms there. Velociraptor, can't see it too well because my camera stinks. I'm working on getting a brand new camera that has autofocus, so that way showing these little tiny things like the Ranger keys and the Dino chargers won't be a complete travesty, because something I've been meaning to get to for a while. So let's go ahead and try this thing out. And then the final attack sounds exactly the same. So here is the Saber itself. Paint wise, it's pretty good. I know this was a lever in Kyoryuger to like charge it up or something, but that's not really a thing here. We have the eyes painted correctly. It's a pretty good size, actually. One thing, like I said, I don't have any of the Kyoryuger stuff, but one of the things that always bugged me about the Gabu Cannon was that it was a big, long handle, and then the Saber was only about like that big or something, and it looked awful as a sword. So it's like this giant fancy handle with a little pocket knife glued to the front of it. So here it is compared to the Super Mega Saber that we got last season. This was actually a really good sword. That had the three lights inside the clear, and it was just really fancy and everything. Aside from Troy's awful Super Mega Saber line that he yelled when he did the final attack, this was actually a really nice sword. So, for the most part, they're probably about the same length. It's just this one's got that more of that curvy pirate sword design. Kind of makes it look a bit shorter, but in actuality, they're kind of the same length. This one I think is a bit more thick, but that just might be me. So the on-off switch is right here on the back. That's the same noise that the Morpher makes when you turn it on. So unlike I said, unlike this one only has one light inside this green sword. Speaker is right here. So that's all the sounds you get there. So you take your charger, and it goes in here. It doesn't open, the mouth doesn't open like it did with the Galvary Cannon or in the show, but you have to get it in by pushing. There's a button here on the other side that kind of like opens and closes the thing that holds it in. So if you want to get it in, just hold the button down and slide it in. Yeah, all that just for sticking it in. Hold on. Thing's loud. And then kind of sounds like a gun more than a saber. And that's all there is to it for that mode. Kind of cool. I don't like its sounds or its lights as much as the Super Mega Saber, but I think from a design standpoint, this thing is a lot cooler looking. Nothing wrong with the Super Mega Saber's design. This one's got a little bit more fancy. So to get the saber, the charger out, you just push the same button, and it kind of catapults it. Just fires it out like a gun. That's hilarious. Okay, just making sure you were still on. You don't need this on for the next part, so I'm just going to turn it off. So, like in Kyoryuger, you can combine this with the gun to make the, what's called the Gabure Cannon in Kyoryuger. I'm assuming, based off of what the box of these two things, it's called the Dino Cannon. So first, push this button right here. This is a button. Just push that and then fold the handle forward. Like so. And then there's a little lever here under the sword. You can see the little black thing. You just push that to the gun and fold this back. There you go. Shut up. Take this and just open it up. So now you see this right here, right? That slides into this right here, and then it'll just pop into place. That's the sound you'll get. And here is the cannon itself. This is one of the downsides to this one. Even though the Gabure cannon, or the Gabure caliber looked really stupid with its tiny blade, when you got into this form, it looked fine. But with this one, the sword's a bit more of a better size, the blade's a reasonable length, but then you got this really long blade thing here, and it looks goofy. But I mean, you can still do what Violet did and have this thing poke out like this, and you've got a really cool looking I don't even remember the name for it. Yeah, you know what I mean. It'll come to me. I was thinking those old Revolutionary War things. The word's not coming to me right now for some reason. So this thing has two sounds in this form. You got a on charge and a charged. It doesn't matter if you have a battery in the morpher or not. It won't make a difference. At least I haven't tried putting a battery in it, but from what I've heard from other people, it doesn't really do anything or change anything. Basically what it does is that when you plug this in, it pushes this yellow lever switch here back all the way, and it just changes it. Spoiler alert, it changes it to another mode, and it completely blocks out the charger morph basic gun mode. So there's no like specialty attacks or anything like there was with this thing regular. So I spoiled the regular attack sounds. Let me do it again. All that comes from the morpher. The gun has no sounds in this form. I think you might. I wonder if I turn this back on and if it'll make the sword noise because the trigger's right here. Oh. So I guess there's a oh. I got okay. That's weird. It doesn't make any noises anymore. Because this is the lever right here. I guess when you... Okay, I'm just going to hold you like this one and accidentally fire you again. I'm assuming there's like a lever in here when you fold one of these things back that it just turns off the sword noises. Might be this. No? Huh. I don't know. That's interesting. So wondering if you can make the sword noises when you fold this back out. You can kind of have gun and sword noises at the same time, just to be a real awesome person. I was gonna say something else, but I don't like cursing in my videos. So that's the uncharged, and then to get the charge when you spin this. Let me do that again because I don't know how well my camera's going to capture the sound. another violent dinosaur roar noise in there, and I really like that they do that. They have like these loud, violent dinosaur roars to all the attacks, final attacks. This one had two, this one has one. And I really like that aspect, and I hope it's something that they actually do in the show where they give all their finishers this giant dinosaur roar. Because it makes sense, because most of them are dinosaur heads just coming out and biting, especially with Carnival or whatever the heck they're going to rename Carnival when he comes around here. So, shut up. This is going to turn you off. And to let this go, just press this bright yellow button right here under the mouth and it'll let go. And it does have a detach noise. I wonder if this is it. I'm trying to figure out what. Oh, okay. So I'm pushing the lever and you see that this is. There's a little right here. So whatever that pushes down on would make the sounds. I'm going to do a little bit of a finding here. Oh, okay. This button, right? There's a button right in that little black hole right there. This pushes into that, and that's where the button is. So when it's folded up like this, it can't make any of the sword noises because of that. Let me see. And there's a button inside that little compartment there that I can't reach unless I had like a little pin thing that I could poke, but that's still kind of locked in between the barrel here. It's right underneath that little clip there, so there's no way you can get the sword sounds when it's hooked up like that. Oh well. And then to fold it back, you just push this forward, you push this button again, and then fold it back. And there you go. They are side by side. So, all in all, I like it. It's, I don't think the sounds and the lights are as cool as with this thing. Plus, it's a lot more fun putting the Ranger keys in this one than it is putting the charge in that one. Because I'm one of those people that likes feeling like the Rangers when they actually do it. Because I like just grabbing random keys, doing this, putting the key in, and closing it like this. You know, it's just like that feeling of using the weapon the way it's supposed to be used. And putting the Ranger keys in this thing is a lot more fun than putting the charges in that thing. Plus, the lights and some of the attack sounds are a lot better with this thing. But that doesn't take away from this thing. The fact that it has functionality with the morpher is a plus. Aesthetically, it looks really good. The sounds aren't too bad. Plus, this is one of the three ways now you can get this charger. So if you just want one of the Raptor charger, I would say, and if you don't want this, I would say wait until you find the the charger packs, because they're just now out. I'm gonna be reviewing them here in a little bit after I get done with the Megazords and Zords. There isn't any real noticeable paint details missing. Then again, I don't remember what the Gabaret caliber looked like all that much. But I say it's a pretty good deal. I actually like this one. If you want all the sounds out of this thing, you're gonna have to get the Saber, or you could just push this back yourself. You need to close this and just kind of hold this back, but that's kind of a pain. And plus, the cannon's a pretty good length, especially if you extend the sword out when you've got them connected, and it's a pretty good sized weapon. So yeah, I actually really enjoy this thing. I don't think it's as good as the Saber. It's better than any of the Megaforce weapons, and I haven't gotten the Mega Blade from Samurai that everybody praises. So I can't compare it to that, but I heard that thing was amazing. But out of these two, I mean, it's not bad at all. But it's up to you. If you want every different incarnation of this thing, then you're gonna have to get it anyway. But if you just want a really cool weapon for this season, or if you thought the Gabaret caliber was a bit too expensive, like most of the Kyoryuger stuff is for some reason, then it's still good. I think aesthetically, it's better than the Gabba Ray caliber, just because the blade is a reasonable length and it's slender, which is another reason why a lot of people like this over the Gokai Saber, because the barrel was thinner. It's a better size. The blade, I think, is actually cool. I like that the lights are up here more than they are on this thing. So it's really up to you. If you're a fan of Kyoryuger and you don't want to poop out the money for a Gabba Ray caliber that's kind of bad looking, then go ahead and get this thing. It's a really good size. It's easy to display. It's cool sounds. I'm not objecting to it. So yeah, there you go.